So, Ravi, thank you so much for joining me today. Ravi Avva is the new world quizzing champion. So, congratulations to you, Ravi. Amazing score. You got 159 out of a possible 210. So, that is pretty incredible. How did you do it? How did you become the world champion? Tell us all about yourself.
Uh, yeah, I obviously there was a large slice of luck involved. Things kind of fell my way, and frankly speaking, I'm not sure I was the best quizzer taking the quiz either. There are quite a few better than me, and I was in the highest scoring overall. Either if you look at all 8 sections, Victoria Gross and Ronnie Swiggers had higher scores than I did. So I think they just happened to land up in the right sections, and entertainment, which is pretty much the one I always drop. After dropping that kind of got me through.
Yeah, yeah. So I should explain to anybody watching who hasn't played the World Championships, people get 8 papers to play. There's 8 different genres. We count only your 7 highest scores. So Ravi wins on the 7 highest scoring papers, and is quite right that Victoria Gross and Ronnie Swiggers both got higher scores on the 8 papers in total, but not when you drop that lowest scoring paper. So yeah, that's amazing. Now, you told me earlier you speak Finnish, and I know that you have lived and worked on 6 continents of the world. So that's going to help.
Yeah, that's got to help. Yeah. It's been. I'm originally from India, but I haven't lived there for a very long time. So I live in Singapore now. Moved here about 6 years back, and for all practical purposes, that was my first time working in Asia. I studied my last degree was in the US from Columbia University, and then I worked in the US and South America for a bit. I was in Europe for a while. I was working for a European company, and I was in Germany for a bit, Vienna for some time, in the Nordic countries for a bit, and then eventually found my way to this part of the world. So it's been a fun journey along the way.
Amazing. And you were telling me earlier that as you started going through the paper, you realised it was going to fall your way when you saw a question on Norse mythology, I think. What was going through your mind when you saw that?
So I think it was probably question 10 or 11 in culture. This was the one which talked about the blacksmith Ilmarinen and the artifact that he'd built, which was the Sampo mill. So that's, I guess, one of the central story arcs of the Kalevala, which is the Finnish national epic that Elias Longort gathered from a lot of folk singers and Finnish culture, and put together about 130 years back or so. And an abridged version of the Kalevala was literally the first book I read as a kid.
Really?
And, yeah, so it was a small book, around 50 pages or so, but it was an abridged version, and it had the story of the Sampo mill and that. And over time, I've got to read the full book, both in English and Finnish. But it's been, it gave me a pretty good feeling about the quiz. Quite a few questions seem to, be on topics that I knew about. And like with any of these things, you need a large slice of luck.
Yeah. I find though that the more you learn, the luckier you get. That's what I find in these quizzes. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. So your highest scoring genres, where you've got 25 out of a possible 30 in both culture and sport. So I think the trickiest culture one that I saw in there that you got right was, I'll read the question out. This 16th century painting of the Last Supper was recently restored and re-exhibited. It was painted by which Florentine nun who established an all-woman painter workshop at her convent? Now, how does a guy living in Singapore know about a nun or Florentine nun? I'd love to know.
Apart from the fact that I've actually been to Florence a few times and spent quite some time in the museums there, so she appears in Vasari's Lives of the Artists. So she's one of only 4 women who appear in Basati's Lives of the Artists, and Plotina Nelly's life is actually chronicled out there. So yeah, that is how I know about her. It is actually a bit of a shame because if I think through that book, it's I mean, particularly given where we are now, it's got I guess short biographies of over 150 to 100 male artists and only 4 women.
Yeah.
And they omitted Artemisia Gentileschi, who was probably the most famous woman artist of the Renaissance. So, but that was really my source of knowledge, and I guess generally not much of a guesser in quizzes. Either I know it or I don't. So that happened. Yeah.
Well, that's an outstanding answer. And the other one, now I know that you know a lot about football because, so for everybody out there, Ravi has been coming to all of the online quizzes we've been running since lockdown. So I've got to know Ravi quite well over however many months we've been doing this now, 6-7 months, something like that. And we ran Brain of Football, and you did extremely well in that as well. So I'm going to ask you a football question, if I may. Which top flight Portuguese football, so soccer for our American friends club, has its home in Ponta Delgada, the capital of the Azores, and the most westerly top flight team in any European football league? Now that's a tough question, but you got that right as well.
Yeah, so that was UD Santa Clara, which is literally the only football club in the Azores. So Portugal's got they've got a couple of football clubs in Madeira, Maritimo and National. And Cristiano Ronaldo actually got started at National de Madeira, and then the Azores are a little bit further west, and Santa Clara is the only football club out there. So yeah, and I mean, I guess the way I got that is I just follow football a lot. So I come, I guess, 4th on the last Brain of Football a couple of years back, and 2nd this year. And I just happened to watch most of the European top leagues a lot more when I was a student. Just don't have the time to follow them week in, week out. No, but I do keep an eye out for the scores.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely outstanding performance, and I really hope that maybe you can make it to the Olympiad in November. It'd be great to see you out in Krakow and actually get to physically meet you. That would be fantastic, and I'm sure there's loads of people that would really love to meet you if you're able to join us out there. That would be brilliant, and I look forward to seeing you take part in future competitions as well. It's an amazing achievement, Ravi, and I really appreciate you giving up your time to come and chat to me now, and thanks ever so much.
Thanks so much, Jane, and I look forward to making it to the Olympiad next year. And I mean, hopefully, I think travel will be okay, and I think most people will be I think okay as far as COVID's concerned.
Hopefully for us all, we'll all be able to get there. But it'd be absolutely fantastic to see you there in November in Krakow. See you there.
See you there.
Take care, Ravi.
Thank you.